Our final award today is for the 2025 Trial Lawyers of the Year Award. That's Anne-Marie Waldron, Brandon Tate, and Katie Piscione. They were nominated by Sarah Graziano, and Mike Simmons will introduce them. So Mike, would you like to come up and introduce the Trial Lawyers of the Year? Thank you.
Well, first of all, Bob didn't tell me I had to follow Mark, so that's a little rough. But I'm sitting over there with family. I said to Katie, is there anything you want me to say when I get up there in particular? She goes, Pops, I'll just be glad if you don't trip on the stairs on your way up and down. Mission half accomplished. So, they asked me to introduce the three of them today. Wasn't quite sure why. Then I realized they're just giving an honor to an old guy, you know, just an old man. You think, and I say this jokingly, I hope, but my attorney number is 136. That's it. Anybody else in here got a number lower than that? I ask that everywhere I go. I love it because when I file a complaint, you got to put your number on there. And so I show up for the first deposition, and they go, oh my God, I thought he was going to be 108 years old. So anyway, let me get to these three. I'm actually here because I was there. I was there at various points of each one of their careers. I don't think I got them where they are now, but at least I was there. I observed it. I saw it. When I was young, back in the 1950s and 60s, there was a series of books out there, and it was called I Was There. And I actually love these books. I was there at the Gettysburg, or the Battle of Gettysburg. I was there at the Alamo. Probably none of you read any of those books. I liked them. They were good. They were made for teenagers. So I get to tell the story of these three where I can get to say I was there. And so with Anne-Marie, I'll do them by age, just out of deference. So Anne-Marie being the oldest of those three. Anne-Marie, I met her when she became a law clerk at our law firm. And she had the fantastic fortune of being mentored by two fellas, Bob Geddes and Jack Hume. If you're under 50, you probably didn't know either one of those guys. If you're over 50, you know they were icons. And she had that fortune of being mentored by them. But after that, after she graduated from law school, she left the firm, took a better job somewhere with the Court of Appeals or something like that, you know. And then she wasn't doing, so my firm back then was insurance defense, and I get the irony. Those of you that know me for a long time, my first 20 years, insurance defense, the irony of introducing someone at the ITLA here is just amazing to me. So don't hold that against me, because the last 20 years I've been doing the plaintiff side, the good side, the white hats. Anyway, Anne-Marie was doing work on commercial sales and development or whatever, where you read contracts all day long. And so I was saying to Katie, as Katie was getting ready to go to college, I said, Katie, you want to be a lawyer? You're the last of our 6 children. Can't we get one of you to be a lawyer? She goes, not a chance in the world. Not going to be a lawyer. So off she goes to school, goes up to St. Mary's, graduates from St. Mary's, realizes that maybe a degree in humanities isn't going to take you anywhere. I don't know. But she then went to law school. And that was good for her. She was our one child that managed to get through and become a lawyer. Anyway, going back to Anne-Marie. At that point in time, when Katie was trying to make up her mind, Anne-Marie switched to personal injury. And she started doing that kind of work, which Katie found amazingly satisfying to watch, I think. She got a real interest in it, and so that got her going there. So I was there when Anne-Marie started her PI work. And I had the fortunate, and she's not in my firm, she's in a different firm at this point. She got her own firm. And I had the fortune of working with her while she set a record up in Kosciuszko County for a personal injury auto case. I was there when she got $35 million in Marion County on a drunk driver case. And I was also there, this is my theme, see, I was there. I was also there in Boone County when she got $159 million for a quadriplegic in an auto accident. So I was there to see all of that happen. I was able to watch her. She is an amazing trial lawyer. And the thing before that was, she went out to do that work in contracts, but every time she heard about a trial, she would show up. If I was in trial, I'd look out and she was there to watch the trial. So she loved the courtroom and finally got back, and now the entire community benefits from that. Go to Brandon. Now, Brandon I haven't known quite as long. I didn't really know Brandon until he started doing a lot of work with Anne Marie before they merged their firms. And Brandon is just, I've come to realize, is a great attorney. I really like watching him work. He's a gunslinger though. That guy's a gunslinger. He got a six-figure, whatever it was, recovery for a woman who fell, a slip and fall. Six-figure recovery. She slipped in some water. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it was at a pool. She's at a pool. Why would anybody think you wouldn't have water at a pool? And he convinced a jury to give her a big judgment. Next thing I know, he's out doing some work in some other county with his partner, Matt Land, big guy in the beard over there. And they're doing something with estates and trusts, and it doesn't have blood or broken bones, so I don't know much about that stuff. But it ends up with $14 million. And then the next thing I know, there he is in Boone County. This is what I'll say about that case. Brandon gave the most amazing final argument that I have ever heard. I've done more than 100 trials. It tells you how long I've been practicing. But I just sat there and watched him give that final argument. It was amazing, the best I've ever seen. And so the defense lawyer from State Farm, which I always kind of liked, I liked the fact it was from State Farm. My Brandon's done, he sits down. The defense lawyer gets up, kind of buttons his coat, and he said, I have nothing to say in response to that argument by Mr. Tate. I just hope the jury will award reasonable damages and not get caught up in the sympathies created by him. And that was his entire argument. Sat down, and that was the whole thing. So he couldn't even respond to Brandon's argument. So that I've remembered about that. And then the third recipient, the young'un over there, Katie. So once Katie decided she was going to go to law school, she got out and joined her mother's firm. Let me just say this. I have seen a lot of young lawyers, lots of them, in 50 years of practice. Katie was born to do this. She was born to be a plaintiff's lawyer, and it's just amazing to watch. I have a young associate the same way, but those are probably the only two I've seen that were born to do that and not do anything else in life. So she's amazing. We were driving up to South Bend a couple weeks ago, and Katie was in a mediation, and Anne Marie was part of that. So Anne Marie was playing the mediation, and we were listening in. And every time that it was time to make a move, I would tell Anne Marie, of course we were on mute, so Katie can't hear us, this is what I would do. And Katie did that same move every single time. And she's got 4 years experience. She is made to do this. So these three are made to do the work that you hear about, that Lee Christie at dinner last night was talking about why we do this. And we do this because, it's easy to get up here and talk about the size of verdicts. Size matters. That's what I hear. Don't know. But that isn't really the measure of what you're doing as a lawyer. It's how many people we're helping. Why we're doing it is more important than what we recover. And they get that. And Brandon is out there gunslinging and taking cases about pool slip and falls on water from the pool, and all these other cases that these guys do. But they do it because they want to help. They do it for the right reasons. We can talk about numbers, but those are just things that we say to ourselves. To say, look what a good job I did, I can prove it. They prove it day in and day out by how they handle their clients, how they really care for their clients, how they take care of their clients. We have clients that we see years after the case. And that's the kind of loyalty that they create. And I'm so proud that they have earned the 2025 Indiana Trial Lawyers of the Year, and they deserve it. And thank you very much for giving that to them.
So I'll go first. I'll keep it brief. There's three of us, obviously. I was thinking about how I've gotten here. I was a kid from Georgia, moved up here for law school, didn't know anyone, didn't have any family here. Went to McKinney, so right downtown. And somehow, with the help of many people in this room, and this organization itself, an idiot kid that started a law firm straight out of law school has made it here. And instead of going through names, I just want to thank everyone that's either here or not, and the organization itself for all it's given me over the years to allow us to get to this point. And I kind of want to leave with one thing, and that's, he was talking about the Boone County case. And I didn't prepare a speech. I just started thinking back to it. And when he was talking about the closing, it's why we do what we do, and what does this award mean? And so I started thinking back to that moment. And the jury goes out. We look at our clients whose lives were destroyed by a drunk driver. And they look at us and they say, no matter what the verdict is, we now know that we've been heard. And I think that was one of the most powerful things I've heard in my entire life. And that's why we do what we do. And that's what this award means to me. So thank you to everyone, and you guys are up.
I don't have much to add. Mike covered a lot. Let's just say there's a judge in Kosciuszko County who now puts time limits on every closing argument because he learned his lesson by just letting him talk. I also want to thank everybody here. I have been given opportunities that I hadn't earned at the time they were given. I'd like to think I've maybe earned them now. But more importantly, I'd like to thank everybody in this room, as Brandon did, for continuing what feels like every day now to kick ass. I mean, we are getting verdicts and settlements that are wildly impressive. I think it inspires everybody in this room. I love seeing it. Please keep sharing them. Please keep doing it. This work is important. It's opening doors for everybody when we continue to do this. So thank you all for doing that. Thank you all for being here. And I will let Anne Marie close us out so that you all can stop hearing us talk.
Thank you all. I want to echo Brandon and Katie's remarks, thanking all of you for everything you do, fighting the good fight and inspiring us all to keep fighting the good fight. It's especially nice when I've had a bad day, maybe lost a motion or lost a trial, but then I get to see that there are others out there that are still fighting the fight, and it keeps me inspired to do it. I am very lucky in that at the later years of my career, I have found my home. I have amazing partners in Brandon and Matt, over there, Matt, and we have amazing staff at the office, and our two associates, Holt and Katie. They make my job easy. I am riding on all of their coattails these days. I just come into the office and delegate to other people to do the hard work. So that is kind of nice. I'm very proud to be up here with the two of them. As Mike said, they are both absolutely amazing lawyers. They make me, like I said, they make me look very, very good. I did want to introduce a few people, which is going to make my sister really mad. Over at our table over there, I have my sister-in-law Margie, my sister Stacy, and my aunt and uncle Mickey and Rick, who came to join me today. And then I told you we have our Holt and Matt down there. But then we also have my extra office, my bonus office people, the ones from Mike's office who also, because we co-counsel on so many cases, end up saving my butt a lot too, which are Hannah and James sitting over there. So thank you guys for everything you have done. And I will tell you one other thing. I was so mad at Brandon at that trial when he gave that great closing, and then Ben didn't want to, he knew whatever he said was just going to piss the jury off after. And Brandon did. There was not a dry eye in that jury box during Brandon's close. Every juror was crying during that closing. And I was so mad though, because my favorite thing in the world is to do rebuttal. I don't really like closings that much. I'm just getting up there and spewing stuff. Rebuttal is my favorite thing in the world to do. And I thought I knew what he was going to say based on his opening, and I was ready for it. And apparently, when he said his short little closing and there was nothing I could rebut, apparently I just sat there and deflated. I just went, because I was so upset I didn't get to do my rebuttal. But again, thank you all very much. Thank you too for making me look good all the time. Thanks.